Hello, Miro. How are you? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm very good. Yeah, very happy to see you and to have this conversation today.
Yeah, me too. I finally another Bulgarian guest back on the podcast. I always say that because of my Bulgarian origins, I want always to spotlight the talented people and talented creative of Bulgaria. And through my Instagram, I found about you. So you can tell a little bit to the people who are listening who you are and what you do.
Yeah, well, I'm Miroslav basically, and I'm also very happy when I understood that you're Bulgarian. I was okay that we have to do that. Let's see how it's gonna be. So yeah, it's nice. I'm a designer, predominantly architectural designer, but yeah, I operate in the field of design, like architecture, interior, product design. So we experiment in various spheres and topics into design. We are a young studio, just opened like a year ago, and we believe in this collaborative process where everybody come, brings ideas, we talk, give each other feedback. So now we are a team of 4 people and looking to expand a little bit more, working on innovative projects which are very interesting and creative. So yeah, we're based in London, but um, as a team, the company is based in London, but some of our collaborators are around the world, in India, in Italy. So we kind of taught how and learned how to learn from all around the world.
That sounds great. It's very interesting your setup, and I was super impressed by the fact that you have started your own office in London. But I always like to start from the beginning, so to understand a little bit the background of each guest and each person, because I don't know all of you personally. I'm curious, what was the reason for which you decided you wanted to become a designer, an architect? Often it's because some of your family or some of your parents or it's involved in that field, or what was the case for you?
Yeah, well, so I've always been creative, like a child, do creative stuff, and I also love doing some sports and some stuff like that. Like it wasn't like a decision to be, I don't know, a designer or an architect, but I feel always that I have to do something creative. And my friends at that time uh, started going to this kind of drawing lessons and painting that you have to take for your exams to be an architect in the university. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try this as well. But I wasn't at that time very certain what I'm gonna be in future. So it was like, yeah, architecture sounds good. Let's try it out and see how it's gonna work. So yeah, that was the the starting point, I guess.
And what were your first steps in the architectural field? How Where did you study? What was your background on the academical level?
I started studying architecture in Bulgaria, in New Bulgarian University. And what was nice about this place that it gives you a lot of freedom, and the people there um, kind of appreciate your ideas and give you a how to say like give you a chance to if you fail somewhere to come back and do it again because as I said I haven't been very certain at the beginning what I want to do. So my first years uh, in the architecture education wasn't very I wasn't on the top level. I haven't been really participating in the and involved in the education. So my first year were more downs than ups. But then, yeah, with the help of some of my peers there, and some of the teachers there. I come back and I start taking the architecture and the design seriously, and I understood that this is the field that I want to operate, and I love design. So I come back and I have like maybe like 30, 40 exams that I haven't taken through this year, but I come back and as I said, with the help of my peers, I take this back and yeah, I graduated from there. Then I came to London where I worked uh, in Populus for half a year. And then I decided to continue my study here in the Architectural Association in the DRL course, Design Research Laboratory, where there I really find myself, the things that I love to do, and learned a lot of stuff by myself because the DRL, how I understand it, is about self motivation, self organization. So they teach the students there how to be organized, but by themselves. So you have to find this medium and your motivation to work and to produce. So this was my education. Yeah, New Bulgarian University in Bulgaria, and then the AA here in London.
And you mentioned you worked for Populus, if I'm not wrong, for a while. For a while, how did you end up there? Because this is always a very important moment for every designer. The first job, right? Because as you said, also you didn't have a design background, and especially you went. Populus is one of the best offices, particular for sports infrastructure, from what I know. So how did you end up there?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there for a short period of time before starting with the DRL, but how I started there, it was like basically just because of my portfolio. As I said, I did a good and nice project, like a master thesis in the New Bulgarian University, and I also explored by myself, um, like design topics that they haven't been from the university, but I wanted, to experiment here and there, do some kind of design experiments. So my portfolio at that time was good enough and was kind of eye-catching. So because of that, I got my first job. I didn't have any kind of experience, from Bulgarian University, which is not very well known around the world, but just because of my portfolio, they give me a chance, and I'm very thankful that I've been there, even though for a short period of time, because I learned a lot of stuff, meet great people who helped me through my way, and yeah, I'm still in touch with some of the people with who we work there. So yeah, this was how I started because of my portfolio.
Oh, that sounds great. And how was I always like to talk also about not only about the work side of the things, but also the personal side of the things. And I can imagine that moving to another country, to England, to London, it has been quite a change for you because I guess the culture it's quite different. How was for you personally to move from Bulgaria to England to London? Although London is very very international, but how was your personal experience in that area?
Well, honestly, you have to be brave to do it, especially in my case. I have a wife, and at that time that I moved, I have like a 6 months daughter. So, it wasn't like a really easy decision. So you have to be brave, and you have to have the support from your family. So my wife supported me to that because, we were going to a place that we didn't know, a young family with a very young daughter. So of course, you have to be brave to do that. And we just came. We have some support from our family members here in the UK who helped us arranging stuff and stuff like that. So this helped a lot. But yeah, I think you have to, close your eyes. And if you have a dream, just go for it, no matter what it takes, because yeah, I guess it's not very easy decision to do it at that time.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then I always also like, to the people who listen to understand if this procedure or this path you have had, it's feasible for themselves. I've had already a couple of guests from the AA. I think Mariana, you know her, maybe you
Yeah, she's
work
great.
together too. She mentioned for that because the AA is quite expensive as a university. She got financial support from her parents in order to manage to go through the studies. It's a year of masters, also the same as you. How was the case for you? Did you have an option for maybe a scholarship or a loan, or did you have the savings? If you can share, if it's not too personal.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I guess the same as Mariana. Yeah, it's expensive, and you have like some savings, also family support. Without my family, I wouldn't imagine going this way. So, yeah, it was in DRL. They don't really do a lot of scholarship and stuff like that. So it's kind of yeah, not that easy from this point of view. But in the end of the day, it gives you a lot. And if you want, you can take a lot of this place. So I would say that is worth it, and the investment is worth. Uh, so yeah, thanks to my savings and my family support, I've been able to participate in the deal, and I'm very happy as I met amazing people there. I met some friendships and also some associate like people who will work together, collaborate, and stuff like that.
I see. And well, but after this challenge route, you went to the AA. Afterwards, what was your next move? You were at Hadid directly afterwards, because I know you've been working for Zaha also.
Yeah. So basically, after DRL, I start right away at Zaha Architects, which I also been there for a short period of time, but it was very beneficial for me. I met like amazing people, and I had an opportunity to work on a very great project with great people. So it was a very good experience for me, and I learned a lot of things. Yeah, I haven't been for a long, so I can't say so much about that place, and especially that it's been at that time it came the pandemic, so I spent like 2 months in the office, and then the rest of my time was work from home. So, but overall, I found that it was nice to be there, and yeah, I'm very happy that I had a chance to be there.
How you say always you've been for a short period of time. How long in total you've been at Populus, and how long in total at Zahadid?
Like in Populus, like half a year, and Zaha around a year.
Ah, okay. So yeah, quite quick go through. And well, then now comes the most interesting part, which is the moment you decided to start the company, which is called I Mind Design or Architecture. It's very a little bit of both, I think. So how you said yourself you had a really dynamic sort of life personally and professionally and academically, because in a short period of time, in 2 years, you went through Populus, AA, Zaha, and how did the idea of starting your own office come up? And was first like you're also very you have a very popular Instagram account, I gotta say that. And was maybe that also something that brought you some leads for projects? How did it start the whole thing from zero? Because it's very hard to start a project, a studio from zero, and especially in London, especially as none of you're not from there. So I'm really curious.
Yeah, well, so I've always known that I'm gonna try by myself in a certain time. I didn't know what is gonna be that time, right? So, but I knew that I'm gonna do it in some point, and I guess in my view, it was that it's gonna come on a little bit later, later phase, and I'm gonna work a little bit more time, let's say here and there. But because of the pandemic, this boost my decision, and this point came faster because I wanted to work, let's say, in Populus or Zaha or whatever, in order to meet people, to have this communication, to learn from them, to be in a team, to socialize, to be part, go here after work or on lunch with some peers, colleagues, having conversation. So yeah, just meet people and socialize. But when the pandemic came, it was a little bit, this kind of period for me when I was staying at home all day by myself and just having Zoom meetings with like once a day or twice a day. And the idea for me of participating in a big studio and socializing with the people there a little bit, start to wind it a bit. It's not there anymore. So this the thing really boosts the my decision to make it faster and to close my eyes and go for it and see what it happens. So and it was hard, yeah, of course, in the beginning. Uh, it was hard because I didn't have any clients and I didn't know many people here in London. And yeah, you said my Instagram profile. Uh, but at the time that I started Mind Design, I have like 3,000 people who were following me. Now I have like 35,000. But at the time that I started, it wasn't like that big audience, like a year ago. So I had to come with a strategy how I'm gonna do it. And of course, it's not the perfect strategy, and it's not like a perfect thought one. I didn't have that much time to think about it, but I said, okay, in the middle of the pandemic, without a chance to meet people, to go on events, to meet future clients, and you don't have so long experience and work with the clients in the companies that have been worked. So what is your chance? How you can uh, find potential clients? And I said, okay, so I have to share my ideas, do my things, do my design, and share it out, and use the social media as a tool, uh, because this is, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. This is where, in the middle of the pandemic, people spend much of their time now. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do that, and yeah, just did designs like every day, work on design sketches and start posting them in the social media, and I started to see that it grows attention. Like for 1 year, I got from 3,000 people to 35,000. Uh, so it's like a jump, for a year, it's quite a jump. And in some point, the clients came. They, because I post these things in the social media, but many big design and architecture magazines started, share it, posted articles about me, reshare my designs. Even like some celebrities did it. Like I saw like my design on the real squeeze page and the Alicia K's husband, and like people like Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent commenting under my post, and I was okay, it's getting there, so I have to keep going. And yeah, and in some point the clients came, like, because it spread away very fast, and I have like very amazing and super interesting project that we are working on in our studio. But basically, this is how it starts. I use the social media as a tool to speak loud about what I think and what I create, and show my designs, and yeah, I got luck that people like it, and many magazines shared it again. This is how I found plants.
Well, my grandma always says you have to work for your luck. So I don't think it's pure luck, but it's also a lot of
Yeah, I
talent.
mean, of course, you search for this luck. It's not like a given luck, but you ask for it. So
Yes. And I mean, obviously, the designs are really eye catchy and they're very well done. I'm curious to go more in detail into this process. So, you were working at the Hadid and then you quit cold turkey, so to say. Probably you have prepared some savings in case, because when you start a company for the first period of time, as you said, you don't have clients and so on. How long it took you from the moment you started doing this social media to the point where you got your first clients? And also, what was your process initially to do these designs for social media? Did you set up for yourself some brief on your own and you started designing it, or what was the case?
uh, well, so actually, my first client came like quite quickly, I would say. I mean, like 3 4 months after I started posting in the social media. So this was the first point that I got a really commission to work on. And what was, I mean, I was like happily surprised that um, the project that come and that we are working on are very creative and are in the way, and they, the design language is the design language that I have proposed to the people, which makes sense. But in the beginning, I didn't realize that I'm gonna have so cool projects. So I was very happy about it. And yeah, and as a brief, yeah, I mean, I did a quite long research about the, let's say, the dwelling, like the house, place to live and work, let's say, like which was kind of influenced by the pandemic, and now how the dwellings have to be like a little bit different kind of spaces where people can, uh, spend their time, live there, but also in many cases work from there and meet another people there. So have this kind of freedom, like agile kind of living space. So I did this was like maybe the main brief of the research that I did a lot of work there. So yeah, also I did some kind of um, let's say green public community places where I played with you know with where we can invite the nature and the greenery into our designs, and how we can speculate on this idea of more green spaces and more community places in our for our society. So
And
these were the briefs.
but imaginary, like imaginary situations there, without any specific like location, or also you took pick a plot, for example.
I use like for the dwelling brief, I use like places around the world. I didn't want to choose a certain site, let's say, and just work on it. But I looked at things more globally and see, because it's not just not for one place, but maybe yeah, it's more like a global vision how we can set up this kind of space.
And I'm curious, what were the tools that you used to, or what are the tools that you still nowadays use to create your projects? Because of course they look really, really like they're really futuristic, really organic. They're really it perfectly could be Zaha did instead of you, or I mean, I'm not saying that you're copying, but I'm saying that it's at that level, which is quite impressive. So I'm curious, what are the tools that you use in order to make them, and also how long it took you also when you were starting from the starting point to the point where you could publish something on your Instagram page or on your different platforms?
Well, so as a tool, I use in our studios predominantly is using like Autodesk Maya because it's the fastest, this gives the fastest possible solution to output many design ideas in a very short period of time. So basically in the beginning of the project where you have to propose a lot and explore different variations, different design ideas, different directions, you want to be very fast and um, to be able to produce a lot for a very short time. So, and because we are predominantly concentrating on the design part, this is why we are predominantly use Autodesk Maya because it gives you this opportunity to produce many three-dimensional sketches in a very fast manner. Uh, so yeah, it's not very common in the architecture field. This software, not many people are using it in the architecture field, but I think it's the best software to start with and to explore ideas. Um, Regarding how much time it takes me to start something and to post it on the social media is different. I mean, and it's like I might start something like a year ago, but it evolves and it comes, let's say today, I finish it and I post it. This might be like a long process that I learn about things and that way. For the other, or also might be the other way around. I mean, if I have an idea, I sketch it right quickly, and I start in the morning and I post in the afternoon. It's like this kind of variety. As I said, mine is very fast. So if you have an idea, you can sketch it really quickly. Then you can prepare like the visual also quickly and just post it there.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's different paced depending on the things that you're designing. And what are the tools that do you do everything? Did you do everything yourself, or do you still do everything yourself? Because also one thing is the model and the geometry and the design itself, but also your renderings. The images are really really good. So do you do that also yourself, and what do you use for that eventually?
Yeah, I mean the renders are also done by myself, and uh, yeah, most of this is like post production, so it's Photoshop. I mean the Photoshop work is really intense there, but this gives you like this kind of eye-catching level and eye-catching detail of the rendering. So yeah, I think Photoshop is great for this because it's very fast as well. I mean, what is Maya for 3D modeling? This is Photoshop for rendering, so you can export like a lot of ideas and direction for the visuals in a very short period of time. So this is why I prefer. I love to be fast and productive. So yeah, it's very important to have the tools in my hand that I can do that. So yeah, like Maya and Photoshop.
Yeah, and I'm curious, what were the influences on what were your influences or your idols, if you want to say like that, because this is your design. It's a very very specific style, which is very organic and very it's very modern oriented. So who were your inspirations for developing this style, or if you want to say, or direction?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, and the main inspiration is nature. I mean, I I haven't seen like a rectangular shapes in nature. I mean, like what nature teaches us, and we can see how it works and how it evolves. So as I said, yeah, like people are doing rectangular shapes, but because of other reasons, in my opinion, oversimplify things. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I haven't seen rectangular shapes in nature. So the nature is the biggest inspirational source for me. in many ways. And also, I've always been interested in the automotive design. Uh, so yeah, I mean, you see like great designs from Mercedes, like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and stuff like that. And I know that this the automotive design is it's on a higher level than the architecture. It's more developed, and this is where the architects and architecture designer can learn from the tools that they use for their designs, the shapes, the creative approach. So yeah, I use a lot of inspiration about around this field, and I think like inspiration from another fields and multidisciplinary approach really can give you so much into your design. So yeah, and regarding the architects, of course, Hadid it's a great example. And Anthony Gaudi, I've been inspired from them as well. But yeah, mostly from nature and automotive design.
And were there some, because for example, for me personally, it was very, very eye-opening, moving from just doing designs by myself to working in an office where the designs are done professionally. So were there some lectures that you took even in this brief periods you work in these offices, which were very helpful for your workflow or for your methodology?
Uh, yeah, as I said, I learned a lot, even though for a short period of time. But I can't see a very different, the approach because I always work in the creative teams. So, and the approach wasn't very different from the DRL, let's say. You explore as many ideas as you can. You find the best possible solutions, and you try to make it work. So, you spend time on this to find the direction and then to make it work. So, if you want to be professional, you are professional, in my opinion, in everything you do, whether in your university or in the company you're working on or in the studio that you're starting on. If you have this kind of mindset to do things professionally, you do them professionally. So yeah, this is my opinion about it.
I see. And now you said you're several people. So one interesting topic is also, and you're also scattered around the world, as you said yourself. So when you're a younger company, the work also has to be very focused, very directed. How did you find the people that are now working with you? And how do you cooperate more on the operative side of the job? As you said, you're more remote working together.
Yeah. So basically, I started the studio alone, but then I participated in a competition with few peers, like 2 months after that, and one of them wrote me after 2 months, like uh, show wish to come and join me with this with the studio, and she's been from the DRL as well, so I know her from there. And this is how she joined, and then how we find another people is best share again via social medias, like I scattered around the social media. I look and I post like, look, we're searching for a designer who wants to join. And yeah, many people send their application. I'm very thankful about it. Like great, great designs, great architectural drawing and stuff like that. So yeah, we have on board now very young, very creative and talented designer from Italy, and it began from Instagram as well, like from the social media. This is how like I find clients, but I also find like collaborators and the project in our studio is like very collaborative project. So basically, everyone can bring ideas, and everyone can, give feedback to each other. So this is, it's not like a very directed one direction process, but it's more like a collaborative process. And this is, I guess, why our designs are so innovative, because it comes from different people. We give feedback each other. So yeah, and we use like as now like Zoom to meet and to discuss ideas. And yeah, we learned through the pandemic how to work in this kind of environment where we are not everybody in one place but spread around the world. And I think we do it in a very productive and nice way.
And are there any moments in where you can physically meet each other with some of the co people that collaborate, or it's always purely online?
Uh, well, as I said, we are a 1 year studio, so we just started. But yeah, I hope like soon we can, like take a office here in London and meet here, and start working a little bit more in person together. But yeah, I mean, for now we are working predominantly remotely, of course, with Michelle. We are every day together, but with Roshi, whom we met before at the DRL, and yeah, hopefully soon we can, you know, have a chance to meet again and socialize a little bit more.
And I'm curious, what is the current, like, because you said it's a young company, and in the beginning, the main problem to solve is to get clients on, and then now that you have starting having some traction, you're starting getting some people on board. Are these people more like partners? So basically, they collaborate with you, or are they employee? How is the collaborative process? Because also when you build a structure like a company, you still need to have, like, in the creative process, you have to be very, as you said, sort of a collective, so that everybody gives feedback, but there should be somebody setting the direction. So are you more like the leader, or are you all guys like sort of partnering and collaborating?
Well, as I said, is of course a collaborative process where everybody gives ideas and share their vision and work on their ideas. Of course, I mean, there is a leadership. Without a leadership, you can't proceed, really proceed. So yeah, there is a leadership definitely, and but the process itself is very collaborative, and we work together as a team. And yeah, in the end, maybe yeah, I take the decision how to present ideas, what the focus is gonna be on the work, and what is the direction. But at the beginning, everyone is welcome to show ideas, to give feedback, and not only in the beginning, but throughout the process to the very end. Like I really do believe in a collaborative way of thinking and bringing ideas uh, from everybody, because I do believe that like 4 or 5 brains make it much better than just one. So this is me. This is my way of thinking.
Yeah, I think that's correct, and I've heard that from a lot of all the other architects I've talked to and who have been on the podcast too, and also in the daily life when we talk about things. It's very important to respect and to collect all the opinions and all the ideas, and then coordinate them in the best solution. And could you disclosure what kind of assignments you have had so far? And like, I mean, I don't want to know exactly who the client is or who what is the exact thing, but are they more villas or public spaces or condos? And in which part of the world you are designing? Because as you said, the whole office is very international in the setup, and also there are no boundaries nowadays, right? Because you put something on Instagram and person in India or in the States or anywhere can see it. So if you can just share a little bit
Yeah.
more about how it's been that.
So yeah, our projects are basically spread around the world. We have projects in India, in Europe, and the United States as well. So that's something that I'm really happy about it. And we are working on an amazing dwelling right now. It is very innovative and creative and unique, I would say. Also, we have some educational small projects that we work on, like some interior for school and furniture design. And also, we are looking further to start on working uh, on a metaverse, on this kind of virtual spaces and virtual reality. So, yeah, as I said, we are very open uh, to make, the quality of living better throughout design and use the design as a tool to make it better.
And do you need to, for example, if you need to design something for the physical world, for the different parts of the world, architecture is a very regulated field, which means that you have to have a license with the local authorities in order to be able to allow the project or to sign on the project. When you work in this international matter, you need to find some local partners in order to make it happen, or you communicate with your client that your project then need to be further developed by somebody
Yeah, of
local.
course. I mean, when you work throughout the world, we have to always collaborate with the local partner. And what we do, we are taking care predominantly of the design part of the project, of the creative part of the project. Um, and our collaborators are taking part of the other aspects of, let's say, this kind of licenses and regulation, all of this on the, if it's in India or in Europe or the US. So basically our local partners, some of them are the client came with them, or in other situation we have to find local partners. So we always work with the local partners who take care of all of these uh, other things of the project. So as I said, one project is a very uh, vast sphere, so many people are involved and many parties are involved. So yeah, it's a collaborative process. So we taking part of the design predominantly.
And I'm curious, when you have started doing your design, I mean, of course, it's based on your past experience and your background, but have you had some positioning in your mind? Because I can imagine that the f- your kind of design is more oriented for higher end clients, or am I wrong? Because it's more like this kind of design. It's always more like for, it's like um, to compare it to the car industry, you can buy a Ferrari, as you said, and you can buy also like a Fiat, so or a Ford. So I think this is more like a high-end design. Or who have been, and also your clients more the developers, or have been also private people who really love what you do and they want to have, like, for example, a house or something.
Yeah, both, as I said. Yeah, I mean, I guess this kind of designs is more exclusive and yeah, a little bit, not a little bit, like, but yeah, not that easy to be built in these very common ways of building things. So you have to, the client also have to be, open-minded and understand that it's not going to be the typical project that it's everywhere around us, but it might take a little bit more energy and resources to be built. But of course, we're looking for to use like sustainable materials, local sources to make, let's say, the budget lower. So let's say for this kind of educational projects in India, and we are trying to find a way to work with clients in a way that we can make it happen. But yeah, of course, uh, everybody who wants this kind of uh, projects and this kind of places has to know that it's a different kind of experience to make it happen, and it takes a lot of more energy, resources, and I guess yeah, willingness to do it. It's not that easy and common, which is also the nice part of the thing because you have something something innovative, something unique, which gives this kind of sense of the place, that added value and stuff like that.
And I'm curious, like, what is do you have some sort of um, a vision where you want to get with your office and with your work? Because for now it started, as you said, just a year ago, quite quickly and quite organically, because you started just posting online and it got traction, and now you have the first assignments. But do you see the office in the future maybe staying more as it is now, more this sort of boutique office, or you don't have these sort of limits and you want to maybe expand it a little bit more and grow and maybe become one of those bigger realities? Do you have a vision for that?
Yeah, I mean, my vision is very vast. I would like to experiment in in different areas of design. So I'm really interested to experimenting in different areas. Yeah, architecture design, interior, but also maybe product design, like maybe like start up our own brand of some kind of product, uh, and and see how it goes. Let's say like furniture or lighting or stuff like that, but experiment in the product design as well. And also, um, I would like to try to explore the metaverse, the virtual reality, because I think is a place where you have a lot of freedom, and it can boost your creativity to very high levels. And what I see there in the early days of the metaverse is, this kind of old-fashioned pixelized images that I'm not really fan of it. So I think there is a lot of scope to be explored there as well. But yeah, I mean, I hope we grow as a team, as a company, as our vision grows as well. So we look through different topics, different spheres of the design. So yeah, not only architecture, but yeah,
Have you
product, as I said.
Have you designed already something like I don't know, chair, or a lamp, or what kind of products you would like to design a part of buildings?
Yeah, I mean, basically in our design, if it is interior or exterior, everything is bespoke, basically. Absolutely, like every piece of furniture, every piece of light is like bespoke design by for us. So through our project, we design like quite a number of, of products as well. So yeah, I don't still know what exactly it's gonna be. I want to, make some research and see how the things works and what is the real process of launching a product. Because now we provide like services, right? We provide design and we design stuff, but then if you have to really produce a product, it's a completely different story, and we have to understand what the process is and how it's gonna work. So yeah, this is what.
Well, I think now that you have this visibility and it's growing, you don't have to care so much about the production. You can be, like all the designers just designing a product for a certain company, and they will take care of the production and distribution, and everything just be assigned
Yeah,
by.
but I look a little bit bigger than that, you know.
Okay, you want to you.
Yeah.
Well, it's always
Yeah.
a question of what you want to do because I don't think that I think that the big architects that have designed chairs or lamps or any I don't know. I've been on an exposition in Rome in the Maxi Museum. There was an exposition on Zaha Hadid in Italy because after she passed. And she has designed so many things that I didn't even know about, like handles for the doors or
Yeah.
shoes, and sometimes it's very hard to have the infrastructure to produce all of these products. So just you make the design and delegate it to others. But sure, I'm really curious to see what is gonna happen, and I'm gonna be following your work because yeah, it would be very cool if we have an international Bulgarian or star architect or star architecture office, so to say. It would be really cool. I would be very happy, and
Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
I'm really amazed by your work and by how one common thing is that every person that I've had on the podcast make sound everything they did very very easy. Like I just did this and that, and then I did this, and it just happened. I'm curious because it sounds easy, but it's for sure a lot of hard work. What is your how does your day look like, and how did your day look like in the beginning of this adventure, so to say?
Yeah.
Were there a lot of overnighters, or were there like every day 12 hours, 14 hours of work? How did it work?
Well, I think that what I do, everyone can do it, but many few people would do it. So yeah, I mean, it's like to be consistent, to have a really strong will, and to do every day the things you have to do in order to achieve your dream. Yeah, I have like a 90 plus hours working week, so it's basically like every day like 13, 14 hours. And yeah, I mean, but I find time to basically how I start. When I start like at 8 a.m., you know, have some meetings or this, and then use the morning to finish the meetings and to be creative. Then like every day I have a workout. I do a workout every day, sometimes twice a day, because this gives me like this kind of clear my mind, refresh my mind so I can come back in the afternoon and start again with a clear mind. So it's very important to me to do my workout and my sports activities. I play football like two times a week as well, and yeah, I mean, and I spend time with my family, my wife and my daughter. Basically, this is, I mean, it's a little bit, not that many things like happening, but it's a very consistent procedure. So work, family, and like sports. This is what kind of my daily activity looks like.
Do you have any productivity method for your personal organization? Because also it's something you mentioned that when you studied at the AA, you had the freedom to do your design and also to create your own sort of structure and methodology. And also in order to create these projects, you need a lot of focus, mental, and operational, just to keep modeling and stuff, not getting distracted. Do you have some? What is your way of being so focused and productive?
Yeah, as I said, I try to keep my mind clear. So what helps me is like the sports, so go out, run for an hour, and clear your mind and come back and stay focused. So yeah, uh, stay focused on what you're doing, like models and stuff. If it goes well, if it goes well, it counts really fast. But there are times that it doesn't go well. I mean, you've been stuck, but you don't stop. I mean, you keep pushing and keep trying, and eventually you're gonna find a direction that is gonna work. And if you can't, you go out, run for an hour, come back, try again, and then you're gonna find you go, take a shower, come back, and continue. But don't like say, okay, I'm stuck, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in the morning, so I feel fresh in the morning. No, I mean, find a way to be fresh, like in the next hour. So you have to do it, and because who is gonna do it if it's not you? I mean, if it's your task, you have to do it and find a solution. So yeah, this is kind of.
This is a very very interesting perspective, and you're right. Um, well, I don't want to take away any more of your Sunday time. Also, because you're quite busy, as we've figured out throughout the conversation. But I always try to end up the conversation in a very positive note, and we kind of already did. But you said sport is something that helps you a lot to freshen your mind, and I'm trying to create a think tank of inspiration. And I always ask if there is some particular movie or music or podcast or books, something that really pumps you up or have inspired you a lot, and that you would recommend to read or to watch or to listen.
Well, honestly, I don't really watch movies. I don't have even a TV at home, so I'm not this kind of a TV person. What I read is predominantly I read like things regarding the design, right? And yeah, like I would recommend people to look around them, and then what is around them. There's so many nice inspirational things in nature, and even in our city, in people around us. So when when I see my wife, when I see my daughter, I feel inspired. So these kind of things are the things that inspired me, like the small daily things that you see in your life. This is the biggest way of inspiration from me personally. So yeah, I mean, just look around and see how like how much beautiful things there are over there.
That's awesome. Well, Miro, thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and I really, really hope to see you on all the architecture and design magazines with the biggest projects ever. And I will put all the links towards your different social media in the description of the podcast. So if people want to maybe join your team or assign you with another project, they'll be just able by scrolling down and finding everything about you. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you, Georgi. It was like a really privilege to me to speak with you. I'm glad that I have a chance to have this conversation. And yeah, thank you very much.
I always say everybody are very welcome to come back in the future when there are news, because the podcast is growing thanks to each guest, and we want each guest to grow thanks to the podcast. So you're welcome back anytime, and have a good Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you.